Alright, hey, making a quick video about a repair to the Ryobi 40 volt 20-inch lawnmower. This is the self-propelled model, and you can kind of tell this model apart from others by the handle design here. So what had been happening is it would start to just kind of randomly cut off, and it seemed to be tied to sort of the position of the handle, what would cause it to shut off. And then eventually, after playing with it some more, it just stopped working altogether. So I opened it up in various places just to see if there's any obvious severed wires anywhere, and I didn't see anything in the main body. But some other YouTube videos talk about the safety cutoffs being the common point of failure on these mowers. And while I couldn't find a video about this particular failure or this particular model, that was enough of a clue to get me on the right track. So what I ended up doing ultimately was opening up this piece right here, which is part of the self-propelled sort of engagement mechanism, and found that this blue wire was severed. And it turns out that this blue wire basically connects this switch, the safety switch, which basically ensures that the arm is fully extended before the mower will come on, into a circuit that ultimately includes the main power switch. And so because this was broken, it thought this was disengaged and wouldn't let the mower come on. So to solve it, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut out the switch altogether, so I won't have that safety feature, but it'll remove one point of failure, and I'm going to just basically connect this light blue wire to this light blue wire, which basically continues the circuit that it would have made had this switch been closed. And that has solved the problem. One thing I will point out on this mower is that, and I think this contributed to the failure, is that this metal piece that comes between the arms has broken off in both places. You can see it's completely sheared off, and it cracked in both places. And so I think that meant there was excess movement in here, and ultimately just kind of sawed the wire apart. So that's unfortunate. I don't have a great answer to how to fix that right now. I don't have a welder, but for now I'm just going to fix the wire part. For what it's worth, this plastic assembly does seem to provide enough security that you can mow without this being attached, but that is unfortunate. And just in general, I would say that while this mower has been okay, I've had it for 4 years and it's done the job. I have had one battery die on me in that time. Fortunately, it died right before the warranty was up, so I did get it replaced for free. But the batteries, I guess, are okay. It hasn't been a disaster, but they are a bit prone to failure. And the mower itself, while, again, functional, is not the most sturdy thing. In particular, one problem I have is these, there's some plastic nubs here that basically prevent this arm from moving, and in theory, if these are screwed down tight, it keeps the whole thing pretty secure and rigid. But I think these had loosened enough that it started moving and basically wore down the plastic nubs to the point where now this will frequently become loose and kind of wobble around. Obviously, I just described another point of failure, and the fact that this metal is not very secure or very strong. All of which is to say, I do wish I had bought something like an Ego. Probably would have spent a couple $300 more maybe at the time, but had a more sturdy, more long-lasting, I think, mower. Nevertheless, it is fixable, so I'm fortunate in that regard. So yeah, anyway, hope this was helpful to you. Good luck.